Hi book friends, this is Kat. Welcome back to my channel. Alright, so today I actually have a mini book haul, and I say mini because I'm actually combining some books that my husband got and then some books that I have obtained. Some of these books have been bought on, like, from what I bought online. Some of them are from library um, giveaways and or book giveaways, and I just want to share a real quick video over it. So let's get started. So how I want to section this video off is I guess I'll just let you know if I remember, like, if I bought them or whatnot, if they were gifted or in anything in that way. Now, the first one that I do want to start off with is, as you may be aware, my husband and I both completed the game for the TBR game that we do, and so we each got to pick 2 books that we could buy and basically splurge on. So I'm gonna go ahead and show those books. First, because his books are on top, I'm gonna go ahead and share what my husband got. And so one of those books that he did get was another Patrick O'Brian book. This is called The Martyrous Command, and this is book 4 in his 22 book series that Patrick O'Brian has written. If you're familiar with the movie Master and Commander, it's actually based off of a book, and that book series is what my husband is slowly working through. So this is book 4 of it, and that's all I know about it. I've never seen the movie Master and Commander. I believe my husband did a while ago. For those who know it, there's a series and it's 22 books long. So we'll see how far my husband will get into those series. So he got number 4. He has number 3 as well. He is currently reading that. But then the other book he got is The Frozen Hours by Jeff Shara. He loves Jeff Shara's books, and I believe his son's name is Michael Shara, if I remember correctly. But they write the Civil War books, and I'm trying to remember what one of them's called. I think it's like The Killer Angels is one, and I don't remember any of the other ones, but they are father and son. They write, historical fiction. And this one is actually a signed copy. So we didn't know that when we bought it. But yeah, there it is, and that's pretty cool. He's the only one who has a signed copy book in this house. So that's good though. Like, he actually is enjoying the books. And so this one is a novel of the Korean War, which neither of us are familiar with. So I know that once he finishes this book, he's gonna talk to me all about the Korean War, and probably will know more than me. So, he will know more than me. So, but yeah, so that was pretty cool. For any of you out there whose husbands might like, or any girls too, but might like historical fiction in these books. Again, I've never read them, but my husband enjoys them, and they're clean for the most part, that I would know. Now, the next book I'm going to show you is what I got for my husband. And this was like a library giveaway. My library was giving away books. They're currently in the process of actually building a new library in our city, and I'm ecstatic about that. My husband and I have been supporting our local library since we've been married, essentially. And so this library that they're building, we've been like, looking at their website, all the features, all the things that they're gonna have, and they're gonna add trails to, like, the back part. It's gonna be part of like the state park. It's gonna be part museum part library. It's going to have all these spaces to even rent out. And so it's definitely going to be bigger than the current library right now. And so I guess in the process of that, they're giving out books that I guess that are not going to go with them to the library. And so I found this one called The Lightning War, and it's Blitzkrieg in the West, 1940. So this is during World War II, and the Blitzkrieg is, I guess, that air strike with Great Britain. Let me just double check because I don't want to give false information. So I'll just read the back. In Lightning War, historian Ronald Pawlowski tells the dramatic story of the German defeat of the Allies in northern France and in the Low Countries in 1940. This is the first book to cover the campaign as a whole, examining the issues from all the sides, those of the French, British, German, and other involved nations. From the Battle of Meuse to the German drive to the English Channel, from the Wagen Plan to Operation Dynamo, Pawlowski relates the events through the eyes of the generals, politicians, and servicemen who witnessed and forever shaped history. Okay, so another part in World War II. He may or may not like that book. It sounds like it sounds more of a history instead of historical fiction type of book. So we'll see. Okay, and the last book, and actually I feel like he bought this one too. So maybe he bought 3 books, but nevertheless, he barely buys himself books. I'm actually excited that he got these. So this is also by Jeff Shaara, and this is called The Eagle's Claw, and it's a novel of the Battle of Midway, which is also set in World War II. This is during the Pacific, we call it the Pacific Theater. So in World War II, we fought 2 fronts. We fought in Europe against the Germans and Italians, which is called the European Theater, and then we fought the Japanese on the Pacific coast, and we call that the Pacific Theater. So the Battle of Midway is a turning point during that, during World War II. So basically a turning point in our favor when we were fighting against the Japanese. So yeah, this talks about that. And I know this was also on the poll, one of the polls we had for his, for the TBR game this month, and a lot of you voted for that one, but he ended up reading the one that did not win. So anyway, those are his books. On to my books. Now, at this, since we're kind of going on the same theme of getting books from the library, I'm gonna go start with those, and then we'll go from there. But I actually picked up this little devotional by Debbie Macomber, and this is Patterns of Grace, Devotion from the Heart. I picked up another devotional because I have previously finished one of mine, and I'm currently going through one of Tessa Afshar's like book studies over Ruth. And so this is what I'm going to pick up after I finish that study. But this devotional caught my eye because it has some journaling parts to it. And it gives you the little blurb, it gives you a verse, and you can journal. And I really found that I liked doing that with my previous devotional. It just gets me more into the word. It gets me to really really think about what the word talks about and just what the blurb means. And so that way I can have heartfelt prayers written down. So yeah, that was that. The other books that I did get are actually huge, and these are more design books. So this says Christopher Lowell's 7 Layers of Design, Fearless, Fabulous Decorating. And I don't know who he is, but I just kind of skimmed through the pages, And I've been really into designing my living room. I just designed like a little book nook is what I call it, and that's where I'm currently sitting right now. But just I've always had this creative notion to design my house to just make it personable, and it's been hard at some points because decorating for me in general doesn't come naturally. My sister's actually got a really good eye for it, but I've been into looking into the books and just seeing like what color palette would work well, what furniture would do good where. So anyway, I just thought this would be cool to look through. In addition to that, I found another one that says an old-fashioned Christmas decorations, crafts, and festive goods. And this dates back to like 1881, these pictures do. And so I guess it's just gonna give me a little bit of the history of Christmas in certain places, and even how to set a Christmas table, just a good old-fashioned Christmas. And that's one of my favorite holidays, and hopefully I'll have some good inspiration for this coming up Christmas. Okay, so I did pick up this book, and this is called Faith Unraveled: How a Girl Who Knew All the Answers Learned to Ask Questions. And this is by Rachel Held Evans. And I picked this one up because it talked about the Scopes Monkey trial. And in history, this trial, if I remembered correctly, this is what sparked that debate about a creator and evolution, and what's it called? A creator who created, or basically, was there a God, or did everything happen through the Big Bang Theory and just evolution and all of that? And so I picked this one up because it does say how this girl Rachel grew up with apologetics and how she even struggled with her faith. And basically this paragraph here caught my eye. It said, in order for her faith to survive, Rachel realized it must adapt to change and evolve. Using an illustration, her own spiritual journey from certainty to doubt to faith, Evans challenged you to disentangle your faith from false fundamentals and to trust in a God who is big enough to handle your tough questions. So that's what piqued my interest. So I'm hoping this book, because of what it talks about, would point us back to truth. And I was just curious. Okay, the next book I'm going to show you, it was gifted to me by my pastor, and it's called Finding Home: My Funny Journey into Faith by Rod Butler. And I don't know if any of you out there know. I'm pretty sure Katie might know, because Katie listened to Adventures in Odyssey growing up and she really loved it. On that same channel, we had Rod Butler, who is Bongo Rod, and he was pretty funny growing up. I remember listening to him and enjoying hearing different segments from him, but I really remembered Adventures in Odyssey, not so much Bongo Rod. But funny how things happen, but God is an awesome God. He had us go to this church, which I still go to this day, and meet the pastors, and finding out the pastors actually knew Bongo Rod, and not only knew Bongo Rod, but basically were spiritual parents towards him. And I got to meet Rod Butler multiple times. He would visit, and I remember meeting him for the first time, and my dad mentioning how we loved to hear him on the radio, and had him over once, and yeah, it was great. I thought that was really cool how God orchestrated that. I never thought I would meet anyone like famous in my eyes from the radio. So he just came out with this book this year, and I was gifted to this by my pastor. She ended up having 2 copies, and so she found out that I was doing book reviews, and so she was like, go ahead and review this book on your channel. So I hope, and for those who want to know the show, he did the Coconut Hut radio show. So there you go. He has a book and I can't wait to read it. But basically, he's going to tell you about his life. And I believe he just recently found out that he was Jewish or had some Jewish ancestry. So yeah, I'll review it when I can and do a video on it for those who may be interested in it. All right, the last two books I'm going to talk about were the books that I bought from completing my TBR game. And one of them, I'm so excited because I have not owned it and I've been wanting to get to it. It's part of my 5-star predictions. It is, in fact, In Search of a Prince by Toni Shiloh. Probably have heard many things about this book, but it is basically a woman who finds out she is from royalty and she has to find a prince in a limited amount of time. And so that's what I know. I heard it being compared to almost like A Princess Diaries, and it's faith-filled. So I can't wait to start. I've heard great things about Toni Shiloh, and I'm very excited to get started on this book. So hopefully that'll be this summer. And the last book I have is Lion by Saru Brierley, and I cannot say his name, but there it is. Or this book is a memoir about a man, this man who at 5 years old finds himself on this train to where it separates him from his family back in India, and 25 years later he is living in Australia and he wants to go find his family again. And I believe it has like the search bar here, so maybe Google has a play in it, but it is a memoir and a man who's separated from his family trying to find his way home. That is it. So these were the books that I have obtained, and some of them were probably less interesting than others, but I just wanted to share a mini haul of what I had. And if there's anything here that interests you, or any books that you have read that you think that I might even should keep an eye out for, just let me know. I would love to know. And yeah, I hope you're having a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.